it's streaming. Hold on. Let me test everything.
You start streaming?
Yeah. We don't have to go through YouTube no more. So they can hear you. Just, I need to get to. Yep, there we go. Got a picture. Okay, good. We're there.
We good. Got 8 likes already. We live. Yeah, we live. Man. Got 8 likes already. Man, can I get 100 likes before I start? Can I get 20 minutes of like just pure gang, crew, like 20 minutes in front of this HD mess, man? Sick and all, we in the building, you know what I'm saying? Hives and all, man. Thank God for my doctor. Thank God for my wife, for real, man. Thank God for my dog, and thank God for my daughter, man, for real. Thank God for my gang, you know what I'm saying? Gang. About y'all, man. If y'all can tell my voice is a little different, I had severe allergies for the last few days, and found out today I had to have a steroid shot, and got some more steroids to get, and to all y'all that was well-wishing and just really just being, you know, like, hey, man, look, how you doing? Thank you. Like, for real, looking out, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean, babe? Like, thank you, y'all. Thank you. Thank you for being, like, real about it. Like, thank you. Man, we shooting in that 1080p. Y'all like that? I like that, man. That shit is live, for real. Excuse my language. That is live. That camera, man. When it works, man, when technology works, it works. So I thought I'd take like 15 minutes, okay? Q&A right now. Let's just do the thing. Q&A. You ask me anything. Don't ask me a date. Don't ask me a rate, but ask me anything. I'm about answering some questions. You know what I'm
saying? Mary said, Mr. B, are you taking medicine?
Yeah, they put me on, what was it, a steroid? They gave me a shot.
Oh,
Antihistamine. I had an allergic reaction. Is that what it's called?
No, I don't think that, that's not have been ruled until you see
the allergenist on Thursday, right?
Right now it's hives.
Right now it's just hives. It's just stress. I'm stressed for y'all, man. Dang. Y'all don't know, man. I live this. I do this for real. I live this. Like, you know what I'm
saying? Thanks, Sammy D.
And thanks, GQP Pretty Boy. Thank you, man. Praying for me. I appreciate all the strong prayers. I'm going to say something, too. Pimpe pointed this out to me, man. One of the Facebookers out there, I won't say their name. You know what I'm saying? I don't do like the whole, massive prayer thing. That's not my thing or nothing. But this brother and this gang member of ours, man, gang for real. He was like, man, look, y'all, if y'all want to fast on Thursday from sun up to sundown collectively, you know what I'm saying? He's about that. So on Thursday, if you guys want to fast, I'm going to fast on Thursday then. I'm going to fast. I'm going to do it. And collectively, we're going to try to put some good vibrations in the air.
What does fasting mean to you?
Fasting means to me that I can't have food. I can have water or liquids. No foods, period.
Okay.
So from sun up, which is about 6 a.m. to about 8 p.m., I guess, I won't eat or consume any foods. And anybody that wants to join me, you can join me. April doesn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's her own thing. I know Pimpe said he going to do it. I know Mr. Frazier will do it. I know Daz will do it. I know Bethany will do it.
Night clothes. Good night.
You see my night clothes?
There ain't no gang clothes.
That gang clothes. Polo. You know what it is. Yeah, I got a little watermark on me. I'm sorry. Some mamisa leaves to make a tea. Yeah, my voice is different, y'all, so I'm a little sorry, man. I'm dealing with this little allergy thing. Drink a gallon of water every day. Yeah, I try to drink a lot of water, for real. Y'all think I'm playing with that. I think a lot of water. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, for real. Let's have some Q&A, man. Ask some questions. All y'all out there right now with self-doubt, where you're at, man. Y'all don't understand. I've been telling y'all about major things, man. The National Development Plan, the SIGGI plan. Things that you guys have talked about since like January, since like February. Now you're just starting to see your local YouTubers, bloggers hinting at like, well, they said they're going to do this. They said they're going to do that. What are they going to do? You know what I mean? So you got to be like, well, dang, man. Mr. Brando and Miss April been talking about that for months, man. We've been really getting after the news, man, for real. And there's a lot of theory left, and so don't think that every day that I could go by a day and go, well, y'all, you know what, man? I just really don't think till next year. I don't think next year. You want to know my general approach to this investment? I think every month that I'm in it and I have the news that I think it's viable for something to happen. Number two, I think I want to watch the news to see how they're setting up trade, how they're dealing with their deficit, how they're dealing with their budget, how they're dealing with corruption. And I also know what they're talking about doing with their economic development plans. And based upon those factors, that's how strongly or how weakly I feel about a plan, if y'all want to know what really makes sense to me, okay? So when you have people out there that are YouTubers, I don't call anybody a guru because I don't even believe in gurus for my darn self. I'm a Kenga guru. I'm the biggest Kenga guru of them all. Probably in the top 5 that ever did it. And no cap. I'm not trying to say nothing. I'm just saying that people that changed the game, we changed the game. Not just we, me and her. We changed the game when she made me do that mukbang and everybody hated on us. But we changed the game as a gang when we hit 100 subs. When we hit 100 subs, we were unstoppable. As a gang, we are ruthless. And you know what? We take no prisoners. We call our own shots. We believe in the process. We don't believe in a date or a rate because anybody can guess a date. If I guessed every day from here to the reinstatement, guess what? One day I'd be right. And guess what? All of you would lose faith in me because that's absolute bullshit. Nobody wants to hear bullshit anymore, man. They want to hear the truth, good or bad.
Did the donor conference money yet?
Nope, not yet. And guess what? Everybody thought they were taking the month off. Only taking off 4 or 5 days for ID. They're still working. If y'all saw my tweet the other day at Mr. Brando _YouTube, I said, man, they're still working. Shouldn't you be? Y'all want me to go on a rant real quick and tell you how you should be working? How you should be thinking ahead?
Kevin Jones says, in your opinion, do you feel the dinar will provide a rate by September?
I believe, honestly, that they'll provide a rate when it's ready for them to provide a rate. Iraq definitively has a date in mind and a rate. Only them and God really understand what that is. That's not for me to decipher or for me to foretell. I'm not even trying to be slick about it. I'm just telling you guys, I wasn't here to be a soothsayer. I'm here to just be honest about it and tell you what the news is.
You gonna play the music or no?
Yeah. I thought we were going for a few minutes ahead of time getting people in here.
We got 144 of your closest friends. I think more than that, actually. That iPad don't update. You got 180 of your closest friends.
Just 180? That's all we know? That's all the people we know?
That's all you need.
Hold on, I'm going to take a vote then. The new appointees, what impact will they have on the return of the quota of the GOI? Jeffrey Brown, that means that the new appointees, there was 11 of them. There was a few special grades. It actually has very little bearance because the special grades were already inputted by default. And the 11 people, there's 300 and some odd members of the GOI. So 11 members getting rung up on corruption is not really a big deal. It's not going to stop anything.
I guess this is a question. Is Sadar talking to Satani about replacing?
Well, Madani? I'll give you guys some. Okay. So government programs, they're saying they've done about 70% of them. Delete corruption, they've said they've gotten the orders and they're getting ready to round up people. Getting ready to launch the electricity process, starting the natural gas project, as well as starting the Exxon and Sumo oil projects, finishing Article 140 and getting that implemented and starting off with the HCL plan. You know, yeah, I guess they should fire him, right? I guess they should fire him because this dude's doing nothing. He's got nothing done. Man, if you guys don't stop with that guru trash, stop reading that. When you read an article, look for another one to substantiate it by a different author, different newspaper. Think about what you read and then say, hey man, look. Now I've got some things to talk to you guys about that's not only been in print, but it's been talked about not just on our platform, but on a global platform, not a YouTuber. They're not even on this stuff no more, man. All they want to talk about is aliens and they want to talk about China trade deals. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about things that are relevant for reinstatement. That's what I'm going to get at. That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? I don't know where they're at. I look to see them where they're like, you know what I mean? Hey, why are you even doing it if all you're going to do is hate on people, man? Smile sometimes. Everybody be happy.
Do you believe the international card for Iraqis is a big thing? International?
Yeah, the international cards. Yeah, I believe the international cards for the Kurds, the Kurdistan Bank is a big thing. Let me tell you why. Because anytime you get someone like MasterCard or Visa or American Express Discover to install in you a rate based upon your currency being trash, you're doing something right. I mean, you're obviously doing something right. So yeah, it doesn't mean because you have an international card, you got to have an international rate. Understand that MasterCard's its own currency, Visa its own currency, American Express, Discover, they are their own sovereign currencies. A rate doesn't dictate if they're international or not. The card's international. You get what I'm saying? How you pay for it is by your local currency. You dig? You guys got to get off that, man. Don't be successful to things that are very easy to decipher, because that's very easy to get done.
Do you think we'll have a rate after more MasterCards get out to the Iraqi people?
Why? Why would a MasterCard dictate a rate to anybody? MasterCard is the rate. MasterCard is its own currency. The rate in which you pay for the MasterCard doesn't dictate how much the MasterCard is. Understand that, y'all.
Union Bank of Iraq about salaries being deposited in Iraq citizens' MasterCards. Yes, it's coming.
Yeah, now you guys got to be talking about how much of the salaries of the employees are getting paid. How much of the employees do you see salaries of those people getting paid? That's important, y'all. That's part of the standby agreement. The employees got to get paid, and even including the Kurds. Hate the Kurds, love the Kurds, blah, 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 blah. Mr. B, look at my post. I can't see them, Robert. Tell me what you call me. We got 3 minutes. I'm going to start the music. So hold on. Don't call me.
Yeah.
Mr. B, Miss B, and Daisy. Yeah, Daisy's in here somewhere.
She roaming around, little thing. She between your legs right there. Look.
Oh, hey, girl. Daisy said, I got news. I like puppy treats.
Since nobody's asking a question, Mr. B, what are other currencies you suggest in purchasing?
Oh, man. You want me to go through my list?
And these are other than dinar, dong, and rupiah.
Oh, man. Come on. South Korean won, Mexican peso, Venezuelan bolivar, Swiss franc, Chinese yen. Man, you ought to even be looking at stuff like Colombia. You ought to be looking at definitely places like the sterling pound. Man, if you guys don't have...
You got 254 of your closest friends.
All right, I'm about to start this thing. If you didn't catch my list, man, rewind this, man, and catch it again. There's my list. Shout out to Honolulu, Catherine. Achoo! Achoo!
Bless you.
My allergies, y'all. You got to forgive me. So, can I get this party started?
Go for it.
Can I do my dance? And to all you suckers out there that tell me I can't play my music and yell and scream and do my thing, you better turn your music down, man, because I'm about to turn up. Gang, gang, gang! I hit you with the dab. I hit you with the dab again. Said no over-the-counter drugs. Hi, y'all. Breaking out as we speak. Shout out to my gang. If you ain't part of Patreon, man, do your thing. I want to shoot a Patreon video after this. About the Vietnamese gong. I really do. I want to shoot a Vietnamese gong Patreon. Can you set that up for me? I think it's going to be like 20 minutes. But Pempe wanted to do it. He had some news. Gang, gang! Man, let's get back to the introductions, man. Who is you, man? Who's your people?
I am April BB.
And I am the sickly Mr. Brando. Sickly? And that's Daisy. And this is the status of the reinstatement of the Iraqi Dinar, IQD chat, and world news. Now, we don't talk about the world news a lot anymore. We talk mostly about Iraq, and we talk a lot about China and their, what they're doing and what's going on. And I think you got to realize something that, what?
The new appointees, what impact will they have, and is the return of the quota GOI? Quota? Return of a quota GOI.
Well, if you guys have looked at that and seen that they've tried to implement special grades to places like the central bank and other places, you got to understand that you got to understand something, that the central bank is totally sovereign of the GOI. If you don't know what that means, it means it don't need them to make any decisions. They tried to put a special inspector general inside that position. It was voted down because it's not constitutional. The GOI is completely separate than the CBI. And when people further get that in their brain stems, they'll understand more about the investment. One doesn't need the other, okay? One does need the other to the fact of they don't have carte blanche. They have to answer to the the financial system, but they can do pretty much what they want. Sauder's leaders, Mustaq al-Sadr, sent a letter to the followers of the movement on Wednesday under the title Last Chance, giving them no later than next February to reform the current. Now, is Sadr talking specifically about the current government and the way it's reacting, or the way it's interacting with what's going on in their local economy? Or is what he talking about is they have only till February to reinstate their currency? Now, you got to understand something. Sadr's been extremely quiet about the political system that's going on in Iraq because Sadr got everything that he wanted. He got a new CBI governor. He got the interior minister. And don't make it a freaking pause for 1 second if you guys think that this is about the Minister of Education. If somebody tells you the pause is about the Minister of Education, they know absolutely zero about what's going on. The whole holdup to everything up to this point was the Minister of Interior, because the Minister of Interior is the one that holds the purse strings to Iraq. Now, through the Minister of Interior, it goes to the Minister of Planning. From Planning, it goes to Finance. And from Finance, it goes to CBI. If you don't understand that, and you're not educated in that, write that down real quick and understand where you are. Because when you grasp that concept, then you grasp the whole investment strategy of the Iraqi dinar and future markets that are opening up. If you don't, then rewind that piece right there and understand. Oh, I got the bombs out. Fiscal policy, monetary policy, independent central banks. And think about this. Iraq is not the only independent central bank. Even our central bank right here, the Fed, is independent. Donald Trump can bitch about the Fed and throw fits about the Fed and threaten them and this and that, but he has absolutely zero power against the Fed. So understand what's going on and understand how banking works. That's the difference between this channel and another channel. I'm not just going to throw out an article and say it doesn't work or it does work. Understand the history behind it. And if you don't, go back and watch a few videos and you'll understand why it is. Fiscal policy and monetary policy is what dictates where the lay of the land is for a central bank. The central bank has to be sovereign of the politics, because if it's not, it's under the same scrutiny of corruption as the politics. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So get that through your heads and quit listening to people that tell you, well, if it doesn't happen on this date, and this person's an idiot, and that person knows what they're doing, and this person's BS. Dude, listen. Read the policy. Understand the investment. Understand where the investment is. Understand where the investment's going, and understand the investment as a whole, being basically under trade, being under oil and gas, being under credit, being of a credit rating. When you understand that, and you guys can catch all that up from months and months of video. I don't have to replay that. You guys get all that because you've been sitting here for all this time. But for most newbies in this, they don't understand it. All they think is, poof, change the rate. The rate doesn't change like that. Do you think if you were Iraq and there's all these people that could go speculative on your investment, that you're dare going to tell them when the reinvestment of the Iraqi dinar is actually going to happen? Think about that, and I'll wait. Some person out there answer that for me real quick. If you were Iraq and you were about to reinstate your currency, do you think for one even speculative minute you'd let anybody know what's going to happen to the currency that you guys behold? And you give it away? You think they're going to tell you that? You think I can tell you that? Then you're mistaken. I'm not here to tell you that. I'm here to tell you that there's key factors that when the rate does reinstate within a reasonable time frame, it will happen because of those factors. But for me to tell you that on August 15th, 2019, the Iraqi dinar is going to reinstate for $455.65. Turn off right now. Unsubscribe from this channel. Go follow Benny or 365 or Jeff or any of the other retards out here. And I'm not out here for it. Screw them all. You don't like it? You know what I'm saying? I don't give up. I get yellow stripes on all my videos. Now, I make zero money on YouTube. It actually costs me more money to produce this and do this than I ever make on YouTube. So I don't care. I mean, for real. You want to understand what's going on? Then understand what's truly going on. We're in a holding pattern based upon monetary policy and fiscal policy. Not a trade deal. Not Venezuela, even though Venezuela is hotter than baby sister.
What you mean it's hot?
Oh my God, Venezuela, as soon as they get rid of Maduro, you better Katie bar the doors. It is on and popping. And you know what? If you're a mushy, squishy soul that's not about being on an adult channel, because this is really an adult channel talking about adult things, then you know what? Unsubscribe now too. I don't want you here either. I don't want to hear about your feelings. I don't want to hear about my finger.
But wait a minute.
F off and kiss my ass, for real.
Before you go on that tangent. So, but if they... You can't really buy Venezuela, right?
No. But what you can do is stand by and wait to see America invade Venezuela, because that's going to happen. See, you got to understand something about Venezuela and Iran. Venezuela's going to Russia and Iran's going to China. Believe that or not. I don't care what anybody says.
So is there going to be an opportunity for us to...
For both, even in Iran and even in Venezuela, as soon as those invasions happen, then you're going to see a Marshall Plan. Then you're going to see a reconstruction process. Then you're going to see the rebuilding process. It's Iraq all over again. That's free game. Man, if you don't understand, the whole premise of my channel is to take this process and duplicate it over several countries that I know are going to reinstate because of these reports. There's no secret formula to this. It ain't like I'm smart because I picked up the dinar. The dinar was the closest to the end game, and that's what we all want. Whether that's now or in a year from now, it's still closer than Vietnam or anybody else. Not because they have to go in succession, but because as one works more closely with that banking opportunity and has the blessings of the IMF, which is no more than a U.S. government agency, and by the time it's all over, that government agency will bless it and move it forward. Because it's happened over and over again. Look at Germany, look at Japan, look at anybody we invaded and reinstated their currency and built them back up. They were superpowers.
What's left on our list? I don't know where that list was.
Oh, it's the old thing. Okay. A fully seated GOI.
Okay.
You could argue it fully seated or not. You got to see Article 140 enacted and implemented. They've got to have a real reinstatement process for that. Because you're only paying off Kirkuk, and Kirkuk's, it's only like 4,000 or 5,000 persons. Okay? You want to see a seated central bank governor officially recognized by the IMF. They've already been Article 8 reinstated, right? So really all you're waiting for, in my opinion, is for somebody to fully recognize the central bank governor to move forward and for them to go ahead and have an action plan for Article 140. Because with Article 140, I don't care what anybody says, they could pay all those people. Do you think they're not going to pay their martyrs and people that were displaced more money they're going to pay the people on a daily basis for the oil revenues? And don't you find it extra funny that the oil revenues are based on 2020 at $56 a barrel? Has anybody read that to you guys? The oil revenues next year for Iraq, they're basing it on $56 a barrel. I'll wait. What did they base this year's oil based at? $56 a barrel. There's no secret, y'all. The world knows what Trump's trying to do with energy and where he's trying to keep it. He's not trying to cap it over $60, $75 for Saudi and everybody else to raise all this money, or all these podunk countries to raise all this money so they can go buy arms and have their own nuclear threats and all this other bullcrap, support terrorism and all this other BS that's out there. He's trying to cap it a certain amount to let them make enough money to be prosperous, but not make so money and be an economic powerhouse, because you don't want to rebuild a China. See, that's what people don't understand. This is not about Iraq being richer than another country. They're trying to make Iraq self-sufficient and on a trading platform that's equal to other countries, so you don't invent another China. Okay? It has nothing to do with a trade war. It has everything to do with the trade deficit. Understand what we're talking about. I gotta get my bomb on that. That's a rant. Booyah!
Ran on, my brother.
Sure will. Nobody talks this like I do.
So, do you feel we need to get our currency verified / checked from the banks just as a precaution?
I'm going to tell you all this. Like I told my Patreon members, and it's been a few months, go buy yourself a black light on Amazon for $8, have it free delivered, and check your own currency. Go to the CBI website, look at the security measures, and verify it yourself. You don't need a black light, and you can't use a pen against it, because a pen wasn't invented when they created that currency, so it doesn't work. So you got to have a black light. Read the CBI website to understand what you're doing. Fiscal policy is one of the economic policies used to achieve the objectives of the economic system. Given the fact that economic stability is the main objective pursued by all different economic systems, fiscal policy will undoubtedly be the one of the policies used to achieve economic stability. You can only achieve fiscal policy if one has a good, strong monetary policy, okay? Fiscal policy is the use of government spending and tax policy. Now remember, tax policy such as the tariffs on ports, the monies they get from border crossings, stuff like that, as a means of influence to determine an aggregate production in order to address economic volatility and finally to achieve economic stability. Have you guys not wondered, you never see ever how much oil that Iraq actually sells in the actual market, but you always see what the Port of Basra makes? Have you ever thought about that? You know what the Port of Basra makes. It makes 1 trillion dinars every month. You know what this border crossing makes, 1 billion, but you never see how much actual petrodollar, which is real American dollar, they make every day off the sale of oil. Isn't that unique? And I'm not saying it because they're going to go against the dollar, but because they're not worried about that fiscal policy.
What does that mean, Dave?
Do you believe?
Do y'all believe in the DNA?
No, you're talking about the, what do you call that? Where you can't talk about something.
Do not.
No, what do you call that?
Is it, do y'all believe in the DNA and contracts and
No.
humanitarian projects?
No, I don't believe in any of that crap. That's a bunch of bull crap. Okay. NDA, non-disclosure agreement. And no, I don't believe, if any bank wants you to sign a non-disclosure agreement, simply call a lawyer, go down there, give them a promissory note of an Iraqi dinar note, and tell them that when they negotiate this deal, they can follow up and cash in their dinar, and you'll pay them handsomely. But if you sign an NDA, then you're handicapping yourself from any future endeavors or telling everybody how you made your money. An NDA, in my opinion, is kind of like having an 800 number. How the heck, how much money do you know I have, and why would I sign one? I'm never signing anything. I'm not smarter than that, but I know more than that.
Based off your updates, is Iraq in the process of rebuilding and updating their financial system to be better than the U.S.?
Yeah, they're trying to be way more advanced than the U.S. as far as banking goes. Now, trade goes, they're going to be the hub of Europe. They're going to be between Europe and between China by maritime or by land, and they're going to surpass America as far as logistics goes, and as far as pure as logistics as a whole. Meaning by land, sea, or air, I think they're going to be a major hub. Better, they'll do it better than the Americas do in the end. Now, will they be more profitable? I doubt it, because they're a part of that Islamic banking system, and there's so much stifling factors to that. And they want you to give donations. It's not based upon a percentage. So, I mean, I don't agree with that as a whole, but I think that you got to understand that, man, Iraq's going to be a great being for many years. How many, I can't call it, but for a lot of years, Iraq is going to kick ass and take names and be in charge of that region. And pretty soon they'll be talking about Iraq's involved in Iran's government and not vice versa. Watch. Money talks.
What do you think about the mishaps at the ATMs?
What mishaps at the ATMs?
Yeah, that's from Jeffrey. Jeffrey, can you explain?
Yeah, they tried to establish an inspector for the central bank, and they voted it down. It's unconstitutional. Now, President Trump is working to fine-tune the rhythm of 4 key areas that underpin his economy strategy. Now, I want you guys to write this down, so I'm going to give you 2 seconds to go get a pen, because this is what they're describing in Iraq to a T, and I'll give you cause and effect for each one, okay? Foreign trade policy era. How many times have you guys seen that we bitch about here in America our foreign policy trade? Right? China, Vietnam, all these countries that undervalue and sell us more goods, get a trade deficit, buy our bonds and stocks. Iraq, same thing. They have 0 trade partners because they're a closed market. We're trying to open up new trade barriers with even the region around us and collect tariffs on it. We're trying to establish free trade, which doesn't create trade deficits based upon your economy being on par. So all these things that you hear about America, you hear about Iraq. Area of tax policy. Up until this last year, Iraq had no good tax policy. Matter of fact, they weren't hardly paying taxes. They weren't paying people. So tax policy is key. Tariffs and taxes are a big deal. The field of monetary policy. You've seen Iraq climb strides to make big, huge, happy, smiley faces with the IMF, the Treasury, with the credit rating. They went from, I think, a B- to a B or a B+. And in one account, I think I saw an A, but they've made huge strides to take care of their credit agencies, because so goes your credit just as being a person. So goes your self-worth. The better credit history has means you're more fiscally responsible. And that's a big deal. And regulatory policy. It's the same thing. You guys, what Trump is preaching as a nationalist is not a newfound idea. It's a newfound idea in this country that's being implemented and being trying to achieve, but it's not new in the world. There's a lot of people that believe in God-honored country for their own country, not for America, but for somebody else. But when you're closed-minded to just this bubble that we're in, you don't understand there's a lot of other countries out there that love their country too, right?
Of course.
So don't get shielded or don't get shrouded by idea.
Mr. Brando, how can they be doing over $1 million a day out of the port, or is that 10 million a day out of the port, and not have a rate?
Easy. It's like Vietnam. It's way worse. Just double the numbers. Easy. It's no secret. You have an undervalued currency. They're going to pay 4 times the amount. It doesn't mean that it doesn't cost 4 times the amount. It just means they charge 4 times the amount.
Jerry says, "How, in your opinion, how close are we to the RI?"
To the reinstatement? Every minute of every day that I wake up, I wake up and wonder why it hasn't happened, if that gives you any idea. Why it has not happened.
Mark C says, "Sure wish this China trade would end. These tariffs are killing me."
Well, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Are you about buying cheap Chinese crap, or are you about buying American goods?
Well, Nike's not cheap.
Nike's crazy. But you know what Nike did abandon lately? Is leather. Nike used to be the world's biggest leather importer, and they abandoned it.
And then look at the price of their shoes now.
It went up 20%, right? And guess
those,
what?
Like, those
and there's
weren't
no
even Jordans.
And those are no leather on them.
Right.
Now understand this. Nike's kind of like currency. It's worth what you'll pay for it.
Just do it.
Iraq and Iran are killing the dollar in bilateral trade. If you think about it, they already should have, because the IMF says they're not practicing MCP. There should be no bilateral trade in U.S. dollars unless it's in oil. And of course, Iraq should get its value per barrel in oil with Iran. There should be no freebies in life. Relationship scores a B. I have a thing about good governance. Candidates be included in the distribution of residential land. That's Article 140. They're trying to put people back into areas where they were displaced from. No, there's no appointee for the Inspector General. And investment banking, I got this from my boy Seamus.
What up, Seamus?
talking about a special division of banking related to the creation of capital for other companies invested. The banks underwrite new debt and equity securities for all corporations and investment banks, also providing guidance to insurers regarding the issue of placement of stocks. So what they're trying to tell you is that in Kirkuk, they're trying to come up with an investment strategy, right, that protects the investor and gives them a marginal piece of an investment portfolio, and that the Iraqi Stock Exchange, and its value, and its net surplus, and I can give this to Ms. Beebe to post, but really what it really tells you is this. Why the heck would you insure a stock exchange that has a value for a negative currency? Okay? Think about that. Why the heck would you come up with a depositor's law for a negative currency? Why the heck would you go out there and create all this monetary and fiscal law and worry so about what the IMF and the United Nations talks about you? When you start to think about all these things and have a bad, sad face, think about those things and tell me why you're here. Think about why you're here, because you know why you're here? Because you believe in a currency, and all you are is miseducated. You're misguided because you listen to someone that doesn't know what they're talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about, it's easy to be negative. The reason why the Iraqi dinar is not reinstated is because of corruption. The reason why the Iraqi dinar is not reinstated is because of Iran. The reason why the Iraqi dinar is not reinstated is because of Obama. Because of Trump. Because of fiscal policy.
Fake news.
My point exactly. Once you kind of look at it for what it really is, you can call bullshit and no one can say anything to you. It hasn't happened because it hasn't happened. It's not mean it's not going to happen because those benchmarks haven't been achieved. When those benchmarks are going to be achieved, you know what you're going to hear from all your critics? And you know what you're going to hear from the crowd? And you know what you're going to hear me do? I'm going to say, my shot is.
Oh. Somebody breaking your car?
Yep, I just bought me a new car. Anyway, that's the news for tonight.
Oh, I need to look up and not there. Keep looking down.
I know, the thing's right there. I have to look down.
And I think, you know what? I was going to test this. I think we could close this, and that way you're forced to look there. Because as long as we don't hit no buttons, it should be Gucci.
Okay, don't hit no buttons.
That way you're forced to look there. Because as long as...
Oh, we got one thumbs down. Well, I got one thumbs up for you.
Oh.
Don't care anymore.
Don't do that. Oh, no tip for tat. No tip for tat. Not on this channel.
The pimp with a limp can call me. Yeah, this is adult programming, man. Put these kids to bed. You don't like what I'm talking about, man, then get off my line.
I'm about to go to bed.
Oh, I got a call. Good night. Oh, guess who that is?
It's the pimp with the limp.
The pimp with a limp.
Leroy
Jetson, you somewhere out of space.
Look, I figured out why you're having hives. Because like everybody else, you're feeding for a show. We have been feeding for a show.
Hold on, man. Hold on real quick. Let me answer this call real quick. Hold on real quick.
You better tell him he lied.
Hey, Moo.
Hey, brother, I just want to try to check on you.
Man, look, I got severe allergies and I ain't going to be there tomorrow.
Okay, man. I wasn't worried about tomorrow. I was checking on you.
Oh, I know you was, brother. I for real, man. I got severe. They gave me a shot and everything, man. But I'll hit you later, man.
Okay, man. Well, if you need anything, holler at me.
You know I will, dog.
Okay, brother.
Peace, man. Peace.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. That's real love, y'all. People was worried.
Hush, hush.
Daisy was sick.
You can't see that's real love with the dog barking in the background. That makes me a little nervous.
Oh, well, Daisy barking because she wants...
Daisy gonna be a hot dog in a minute.
Hey, seriously though, man, because I started getting itchy too. I was like, what is it? Oh, I know what it is. We haven't had a show in a little while. We're all feeding.
Like some fiends.
Okay, first of all, I just want you two to know you look like 2 scoops of sherbet ice cream. I just want to throw that out there. Okay.
I love the color. I love the color.
No, it does. I do. It looks good on you guys.
Thank you.
These are my
All right,
PJs.
let's kind of go over a couple of things real quick, if that's okay. Now, you guys know that Iraq is now 5th in the Arab world in gold holdings, right? Did you guys see that article? They now... Yeah. Okay, you know, the video's got a delay. I see Miss April just showing off a little... What is that, a sheep on your shirt?
Yeah, it says good night, and I got a little bell.
Okay, so 5th, they're now 5th. So somebody asked earlier, can you do a show talking real quickly about the currency supply versus gold versus oil. You don't need to do a whole show on it. I can just tell you real quickly this. Starting in January 2019, Iraq went from holding 89.8 tons of gold to now holding a whopping 96.3 tons of gold. They are now fifth amongst all Arab nations. As far as their money supply is concerned, back in January 2019, they were holding on to $63 billion.
Pimpe.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got to do one thing.
Go.
I don't mean to cut you off. A faithful sub just asked something. They said, Mr. B, you were in the hospital. Were you cloned?
How do you know it's the real Mr. B?
I'll tell you how you know. Because I am the humble Mr. Brando!
Oh, Lord.
Clone? Who's that rapper with the tattoos over his damn face? He keeps saying he was a clone.
Oh, I saw that guy. Oh, my God. That's so funny.
He was telling the story so convincingly, I think he convinced himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me finish this real quick. Okay, so Iraq went from, in January 2019, holding on to physical, the amount of physical dollars in all was 63 billion IQDs to now they've made a 73 billion IQDs as of June. So they're holding on to pretty good supply, and they had to. IMF told them they had to. All right? As far as oil is concerned, Iraq is now second only to Saudi in oil generated over there in the Middle East. And I have a feeling now, once the reconstruction is done, they're going to be numero uno in the oil production over there. I just wanted to get those things answered real quick.
Okay.
Other than that, how you doing? How you feeling? How you doing, little buddy?
How you living?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie.
You're breaking out of highs. I'm having chest pain from the damn crypto market, man. It's messing with my emotions, man.
Can I tell you this, though, y'all? I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is real talk. I stress about the quality of the show. I stress about what we put forth as a product. I stress about the information that I give people because I never want people to look back on this on 10 years from now when all of us are sitting on this big-ass yacht or this boat that we bought, 1,000 of us, 10,000 of us strong, and we're partying down the Atlantic, getting ready to go to our next destination to go buy our own country. And somebody say, you know what, Mr. Brando, man, he got sick, but he was weak, man. He just folded up, man. He wasn't even real about it. You know what I mean? I'm real about that. Like, I'm for real because I really believe that our group, our crew, one day is going to shape fiscal policy in the world based upon the IQD. And it doesn't matter where you start. I don't care if you got 100,000 IQD. I don't care if you got 50,000 IQD. It matters where you finish. And that's the whole point of the whole point of the whole show. I mean, to go on the Pimp A barbecue tour and all that, yeah. But when we're sitting on that RV bus going from town to town, I was swapping ideas for us to make our next $1 million+ based upon what we're going to invest and how we're going to do it within those days, hours, minutes. Not about just us blowing money. Anybody can blow money. Anybody can buy a Bentley. Anybody can buy this and that. But can you buy Bentley itself? No, you can't. You don't have enough money. But you can. You can ascertain
That's my dream
that.
car, but I would feel guilty buying it.
I have no qualms.
If I had the money, I would feel guilty buying it. It is my dream car. In my entire life, I've always wanted to own old school. I'm not talking about them new things they got on now. Remember that old style they had for many, many years?
Yep.
That old school Bentley?
Yep.
Dude, I've always wanted to have one. And then, I'm talking to my wife. My wife goes, yeah, but if you bought it, you'll just feel bad about it. And I was like, yeah, I would. Because I'm one of the kind of people that don't think that people should be spending that type of money on cars. Now, that's just me. I know some of you out there. Somebody sent us a link on one of the best looking buses. It's like an RV bus.
Yeah.
Oh man, I saved that link because that's how I do my PB barbecue tour. And
I'm already telling y'all, man. I'm gonna tell y'all two things I know for sure. Pimpy, when he does his barbecue tour, if you're not on that tour bus for at least a day, you ain't lived. Okay, I have a feeling he's gonna get more crap on that tour bus. That's why Mr. Brando's staying off the tour bus. Mr. Brando's gonna wait.
You gotta come on, at least hit a couple of cities with me. Come on now.
He already knows I am. I'll probably get divorced. My wife will be like, you son of a bitch. My wife will be like, if you don't get off that party bus with Pimpy and get home.
Strip a hole in the back. No, just kidding. I'm just playing.
That's all right. Hey, Pimpy, there's some spots with some good old magic mics. Don't trip.
Yeah. Hey, look, I got some friends that'll do it. Hey, but here's the thing. Look, we got a lot of people in Louisiana. a lot of people in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of people in Mississippi. I'm like, oh, man, I was looking at pictures. I gained like 10 pounds looking at the pictures. I ain't even kidding, man.
Well, Pimpin, I will tell you this. If you want to talk Iraq real quick, you want to talk about what's popping, what's real.
Wait, I want to cover something super quick.
Okay.
We all talked about doing a fasting. Remember
Okay.
that? I wanted
That's
to
what we talked about that.
You
Yeah.
must have missed that part.
Oh, where the heck was I, man? I'm making pescetti right now, man.
We'll say it, Pimpin, seriously.
Let's do it on the 15th, y'all. I seen Dazzle, everybody's talking about this. There's other people in there. If we're going to be serious about it, we need to pick a time. The reason why I chose Thursday is it's right before the weekend, because y'all know how it is when the weekend comes and you have a couple drinks in you, you're going to start snacking. So I figure, plus, if we do it on Thursday, here's the other kicker. That gives us something to talk about come Friday when we're chatting and the show's going on.
Well, I told you I'm in on Thursday. If y'all want to do a sun up to sundown fast, liquids only, I'm cool with that. I'll do it. And Seamus says he has an old school Bentley for you. Look on his website.
Oh, is that right? Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Seamus is fools with those cars. He fools with those cars for real.
Oh, man, dude, those cars, there's something about it that's so classy. You know what I mean? They're beautiful cars. They really are. They're just classy. And not only that, they make me think of Arthur. Remember Dudley Moore in the 80s? He did that movie called Arthur? That stuff was funny. Oh, the best one-liners in the world. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's talk about the Iraqi Dinar. What is your... Everybody keeps asking me this. Here's what I keep telling people. Look, 2019, that I have no doubt about. But having said that, I'm going to throw this out there for you. Dude, there's something lately, man. I don't know. Like, my body's been feeling anxious, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I feel like it's something's getting ready to happen. Something has got to be getting ready to happen here. It just feels different. Something feels weird.
Pimpin, Anthony Black want to know, are you going to go on a zombie fast?
It's gold zombies. People keep forgetting they're gold zombies. Now, I haven't said that. Do you know somewhere I think it's over there in
Lori
Tennessee.
says April.
They have on Halloween, they have the zombie chase.
I'll tell you this. If there's a zombie fest, I'm taking the 308 out and I'm going hunting. So I don't care. I don't care how many zombies there are. You can't run from 1,000 round drums. I don't care how many zombies there are.
I'll take a 308 Lapua. I'll take it. High power, baby.
I'll tell you this.
I want all military grade
issue. Yep.
Custom made.
Phosphorus tips and all semi. No autos. I'm not.
Whoa, Christopher. What do you say you got? A 1941 Packard. What?
Dang, man.
We'll have to talk a little later.
Our audience is so diverse. I love the fact that our audience is diverse. I love that. I love the vibe on the energy with everybody being different. Y'all don't understand that. I love that. I think that's just beautiful.
No, it is. They're just classy cars. So look, we got Alonzo saying, could me, you, and Miss April use one line to say why we think that the Dinar is going to reinstate?
Okay, you, me, and Miss April.
What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, each
give one line why you think the Iraqi Dinar will reinstate.
Well, why won't it? I mean, right now they're doing everything. They're putting everything into place.
No, why would it? Why would it?
They're putting everything into place to reinstate.
Right.
So why would they waste all this time to not reinstate? So from the moves that they're making, strategically, politically, for their government, for their country, it mirrors a lot of the U.S. qualities, and they're trying to be better than the United States. So I believe it will at least reinstate.
Pimpin, you want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah. Hey, either one, Mr. B. You tell me, man. Because I mean, I'll rattle on why. Because you know why. We went through this. Let's
right.
Real quick. The IMF already put out there what it is that Iraq had to do to be reinstated. We saw the memorandum of understanding.
Yep.
We know exactly what they had to do. There was a checkoff list. We talked about it.
Yep.
We told everyone. Now remember, when we brought that up, the whole Dinar world went crazy because
they went nuts.
You're like,
nuts.
We still talked about that. Remember that?
Nuts. And hey, Pimpe, they're still going back to the SIGI, the ones that we read about how they're going to reinstate. They're going back and they're printing that in today's world. We've been talking about that since January.
Yeah.
Right, like, come on now. We already knew that.
No, we told everybody this. But so what we did is this. We made the comparison to what happened in Saudi or read it, all 417 pages. Whether or not you can understand all of it or not, we went through and we dissected it and we relayed most of it to the people out there. I absolutely believe it's going to happen. Why would I waste my time? You know what I mean? Why would we waste our time?
We hashed it. We hashed it. They told the world they're not going to lob. They told the world they want to reinstate their currency back to pre-war times. They told the world they're going to meet those fiscal demands and those monetary policy demands based upon the IMF direction in the U.S. Treasury. They told them that. So why? The only reason why I can tell you that they haven't reinstated is because they physically have a date and a rate and a time frame in line with something. Now, I haven't figured out what that something is yet, but you know what? When I do, I'll pick lottery numbers. It's easier. It's easier.
Why put out an article 5 years ago that says we are going to reinstate our rate in 5 years? Why would you do that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Why would what was that? The leader who went ahead and reinstated a rate for a short period of time and got his ass in trouble for that. Who was that? Remember, it was like it happened in 2012.
Dr. Shabibi. Dr. Shabibi.
Is that who? Okay, so
yeah.
Remember so you know what? And then now I want you to also keep this in mind. How the hell are you going to rebuild an entire country with $372 million? It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen, boo-boo. That stuff is going to have to be reinstated so that the billions they're talking about are actual billions and not millions.
Okay, hold on. Brandon Boyle says number one reason they must unpeg from the dollar. Brandon, that's an excellent answer. We talked about this 100 times. When they unpeg from the dollar, they're going to peg it to a basket of currencies. First to the region, the Arab region. They're going to multiply that number by $1.39. Then they're going to take that and times it by 2. That's how you recommend. Isn't that right, Pimpe? Am I saying it right?
No, it's the Arab dinar. That's the Arab accounting dinar rate, which is you take whatever the SDR rate is and multiply times 2.5. In other words, it can't be higher than that.
Right.
But I haven't checked the SDR in a while. But last time we checked it, that would have gave us $3.48. But we know the reinstatement is at what the rate was before the invasion. We know it's 322. So at the worst case scenario, we're looking at 322. And if they go ahead, and we've seen this happen now. Now, somebody asked me about this. They said, one of the other people said, hey, this happened. And I said, well, what'd they say? Well, the dinar quickly dropped and then quickly went back up. I go, it did. The Kuwait dinar, that did happen. And one day it dropped, and then the next day it went way back up. So does that happen? Of course it does. There's some adjustment going on. So, but the thing is, it's going to initially be reinstated at 322. If you think it's going to be lower than that, you are sadly mistaken.
Then you don't understand what a reinstatement means. Yeah, you're looking for a revaluation, and it's totally different.
The revalue is dumb.
Yes. Preach. And can I get like 500 likes for this, please? And you know what? Shalom and Mazel Tov. I'm cheersing you guys. I'm telling you guys, you know what? Thank you for taking the time out to watch an educational video about the Iraqi dinar. Not based upon why it hadn't happened, and not based upon why it's going to happen tomorrow. For watching a show that's educating you on a daily basis about why it will happen in a reasonable time frame. Now, a reasonable time frame is this. It'll happen when the benchmarks are met. When those benchmarks are met, it'll happen. It won't happen beforehand.
I do. Every fiber of my body says it's going to happen in 2019. I have no doubt about that. As for when, I don't know. We thought for sure. Oh, I did. Thought for sure it's going to happen. I thought for sure it's going to happen in April. And then when July came, I was like, oh, man, what? You know what I mean? So the truth of the matter is, like Mr. B said earlier, every day he wakes up, I do the same thing. I wake up going, why the hell hasn't it happened yet? You know what I mean? But we've seen a flood of news. It went from good news happening like once a month, maybe once a week, and then all of a sudden it's happening every day. So they are absolutely, if you just take a look just over the past month, 6 weeks of news and changes that happened, we had a flood of almost every day something happening. You tell me, why do you suppose that that kind of rush, flood of changes that were happening unless they knew something was about to happen? You know,
what happened?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I rejected the call. Sorry, I rejected the call.
I think I speak for a majority of the people in the group when I said You can't get sick no more, man. When you guys are off air too long, there's some people start looking like, what? We start twitching.
Okay, y'all. So look, we're gonna cut this show off. I'm gonna go on Patreon. We're gonna talk about Vietnam. We're gonna talk about India Rupiah. I want to talk about Venezuela real fast. There's a lot of news about that. I don't talk about it on here. You know that. So, hate it or love it, guess what it is? April's got to figure out how I can get on Patreon from here. So, we're going to hang up now. I'm going to call Pempe back in about 5 minutes. Do a Patreon about this. And you know what, y'all? I hope you guys got an early surprise based upon what we got going on tonight.
What's the
Hey, real quick, Mr. B. Put this out there. You guys hear about the new Zim dollars happening in a couple weeks, right?
No. But the price of silver is going up, Pempe.
Huh?
Pempe, I don't care about that. When I first bought the Patreon coins, I paid X amount of dollars for them. I'm paying $3.50 more per Patreon coin that I paid when I first bought the first 10 that 3 of them got stolen.
We gotta go.
I gotta go. I love you guys. Join Patreon.
Call me back, my brother.
I'll call you right back, bro.
Okay.
Bye.